Okay, I think we're live. Hopefully. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, Grace. Speaking of Grace, she streamed on Kick yesterday with Lalo and some kind of Ben uh, trying to steer the content, and they were resisting it. Then they had to go for some. I don't know exactly what happened, but for some reason they went live on Lalo's account, and I went to the Twitch account or the Kick account to see. And I guess it was an issue with Kick or something, so they went onto Lalo's YouTube account for a while. The Jedi stream yesterday, great stream. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I watched like about the first half of it, and I thought it was pretty good. VP continuing her constant streaming. What else? Did I get a Ruby notification? I feel like yeah, Ruby did something yesterday, right? I feel like. I don't know. I can't remember. Probably the most interesting thing yesterday as far as like streaming was Elon Musk getting trolled and like almost crying over people being mean to him on Path of Exile 2. And then he died to like a super, super easy boss. And then he said that he lost connection before he logged out. So like he told everyone that he lost connection and then he left. So I don't, it was a really awkward video. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, I think that's it. Wait, what did Ruby do yesterday? She had the ham video. Oh, she did a really quick damn it. She did a quick look at the Thorpes with Ava, but I don't know if they did anything after because I don't remember what I did in the evening yesterday. Oh, I listened to Jim Cornette all night, I think. All right, anyway, what's up Backwoods Squatch? What's up Shay Ambrose? Anyway, that's all the news I have. I may, if when I go to the library later, I might go live for like a little bit. If you guys want to make movie recommendations while I'm there, I'm gonna be getting like the next batch of stuff to review. Other than that, I think that's it. Tomorrow, I think we're gonna do an alien UFO show. Thursday, George Dorunda. Friday, Memphis Wrestling. Saturday, we're gonna watch Big and Hairy, the Sasquatch basketball movie. But for today, we're gonna go to Texas, 1985. I don't know the deal with this as far as copyright, so we're gonna weather it out together and see what happens. Footage is not owned by the WWE, but it is owned in I don't know. It's one of those weird, one of those streaming conglomerates, digital rights media people manage your places, supposedly have the rights. I don't know. We're gonna give it a try. If for some reason it ends the stream, I'll come back and we'll do Portland, I guess. I don't know what else to do, or Puerto Rico today. But hopefully we'll be all right with Texas. Anyway, this is Texas. Texas All-Star Wrestling, May 11th, 1985. And I don't want to get you guys too peaked here, but this does feature the tag team of American Force, which is Frankie Lancaster and Paul Diamond. So get ready for that. Anyway, this is Texas All-Star Wrestling, 5/11/85, and as always, we're here to provide criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. So don't let the copyright gods shine on us today. What's up, Pomp Flair? Meme Magic. Jimmy was live last night. He was really upset too. He's live this morning too. A rogue Von Erich. So anyway, let's check it out. This is honestly, I watched like 10 minutes of the earlier. There were 2 episodes before this one, and they were really. I wouldn't have minded it, but I mean, it was really stretching it for most people probably the quality. So we're going to the like episodes that are solid. Again, this is May 11th, 85, Texas Also Wrestling, and like I say, this is like my first exposure to this as far as like seeing an entire show or like the booking and stuff like that. Frankie Lancaster. Oh, wow.
Welcome to Texas All-Star Wrestling. Steve Stack here at ringside, and we've got an hour of excitement lined up for you. The American Force.
Now, again, because I'm not super familiar with Texas as a territory outside of like the Funks, and even then I don't really know much about like other than like some of their storylines in it. But this was supposedly part of Joe Blanchard's empire, and he had it was Southwest Championship Wrestling. I don't know what the I don't know enough to know, like, is Texas All-Star Wrestling like a later incarnation of Southwest or an earlier or whatever, but I think they're kind of at least adjacent.
Tag team combination. Well, they're going to make
What's
their
up,
first
JF?
appearance here today
Steve
on
Stack.
Texas All-Star Wrestling. Of course, you heard us talk about the Terminator. Well, he is here, and he's bigger than
He's no Lance Russell.
we thought. He's over 400
sure.
pounds. He stands 6'10". What a huge mountain of a man he is.
What's up,
He'll be
Blocks
out
and
later
Grippers?
today. The Maniac Mark Lewin is
I'm hoping we can watch it. I'm always nervous watching like anything new wrestling on here.
back on Texas All-Star Wrestling today. You get a little at Mad Max and Hacksaw Higgins. Lord Humongous, the Colonel is here.
Lord
Other
Humongous.
great stars from Texas All-Star Wrestling. We'll give you a lot more information on our logo contest, so you don't want to go away. Just pull up a chair and enjoy 1 hour of exciting professional wrestling, Texas
exciting.
All-Star Wrestling. Well, the Lone Star Shootout is in Texas, and it's coming your way. This one you don't want to miss. We're going to take you and show you what happened last week here on Texas All-Star Wrestling when the Maniac Mark Lewin met
Mark
Rick
Lewin.
Casey. Here's that action from last week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go.
Whoa. Look at that big old ring. That's the first thing that stood out to me, is how much bigger this is. I'm not imagining that right. This ring looks huge compared to the Memphis ring.
And the Maniac
Well, the
Mark
TV
Lewin
ring.
has gone out. Oh, he has tore a board off the bleachers that holds the people up in the stands here. And the
I would say it's Jeff Van Camp just because it's 85, but I could be wrong.
Maniac starts out just like the Maniac as he kicked Rick Casey out, and he took the board. Now
Oh, Rick Casey. I worked so hard to get away from Rick Casey in Memphis Wrestling, and now he's back.
he's tearing apart, pulling it out of the ring. I thought he's going to take the nails of that board and use it on Rick Casey as the Maniac comes right back out after Rick Casey. There's no doubt about it. When they said Lewin was the Maniac, that he is the Maniac. Reaches down, he's grabbed something. Oh, he's found something out there. I don't know what. It's a piece of wood where he tore the grandstand up. Well, the Maniac will do anything. That's why they call him the Maniac. He's just like Robley. The Maniac has Casey
80% less.
back in the ring. It's Casey with a couple forearms.
Something to
Rick Casey,
point out.
oh, he gets it to the
I'm proud
midsection with that piece of wood. That looks like a dagger, but it's a piece of wood that broke off that 2x4. Going to the head of Rick Casey. Does it again. Oh, the Maniac
Oh, he's
is
got a big,
going
like,
wild.
spike.
He throws whatever he had out to the Colonel
Hey,
Buck
Randy.
Robley. And here comes Casey back out as the Maniac throws him out on the floor. Well, now he's got something else. This come out of the trunks. The Maniac, Mark Lewin, brought in by the sick and the devious one, Colonel Buck Robley.
What's up, Hunter Melody?
Maniac grabs Casey. Oh, right to the ear. Right to the ear.
Any relation to former big league slugger Paul Molitor?
Casey has been knocked out onto the floor again. I don't know what the Maniac's got. I can't tell from here. He's got it in his mouth.
Who's the art
He's
professor?
opened up a
Picking
wound
him
on
up
the side of the
outside.
head, maybe the ear. Yes, it looks like it's the ear of Rick Casey. And that's where the Maniac is staying, right on that ear. Lewin.
Now, I've seen a little bit of we need to watch the Kevin Sullivan in Florida documentary. Somebody made well, that's not a documentary, but it's like a compilation of like Kevin Sullivan's like little, like, it's him and Mark Lewin and like all of his, like, basically like when like a good Dungeon of Doom.
Now he's biting.
You are related to Paul Molitor?
Mark Lewin has come back to Texas. The Colonel, Buck Roby, has brought him back, and of course they're here looking for Bruiser Brody.
Pay up, EFD.
They want
What's
that
up?
Lone
It's me.
Star
Hey,
shootout,
Jeremy.
and it may be coming your way. Oh, the Maniac is out. He's after a chair. He's got the chair, puts it into the shoulder of Rick Casey.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm not super into baseball, but I remember Paul Molitor because anytime I played a video game, like it's when I was a teenager or a kid, it seemed like Paul Molitor was always like one of the best, like easiest people to hit a home run with. So I would always draft him in like every game I played. I always had Paul Molitor.
Well, the Maniac has used 2x4s where he tore it off the bleachers. He's used chairs. He's used a foreign object. Oh, he's got Casey in a bad way. The Maniac has really got Rick Casey, an outstanding professional wrestler, in a bad way right now.
The only bad thing is they're WWE owned. So even though they're not going to let you see them. They're not going to let anybody else show you either. But I do think you can get away with like showing the compilations, like the edits. I think anyway. I'm willing to try it for Kevin Sullivan. It'd be worth it.
Casey, as you can see, trying to get up off the floor. The Maniac's there with a big chop. Referee is Todd Johnson, trying to keep the Maniac back, and I don't believe anybody can keep them.
A street, and I'm not surprised they named a street after Paul Molitor. He was a really big deal.
Maniac out of here. Don't forget, we'll be announcing that logo contest a little later on, so don't go away. The Maniac, big chop. There comes Casey fighting back. Don't ever count Rick Casey out. Maniac gets one to the back. Here's another one as Casey has him in a corner. Can he keep him there? Oh, the Maniac is going over to where Robley is. Now he went to those trunks, and he's got that object again. That puts Casey back down to the mat. Robley smiling. The Maniac is doing everything that Robley wants him to do. Oh, is he?
In the ear.
Ear on Rick Casey here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, coming to you from the Wrestlathon in San Antonio, Texas. Sleeper hold by the Maniac.
Yeah, so Joe Blanchard.
Rick Casey trying to fight it. Rick Casey from Fort Worth, Texas, battling to try to get out of the sleeper hold that's been applied by the Maniac, Mark Lewin.
So he must finish up here within like the next like few months, because he's in Memphis, I believe, at the beginning of '86, because he was one of the guys in that original, when we first started watching Memphis Wrestling '86, he was one of the like, I think he was already there as a babyface, I think.
Casey.
You remember him playing for the Expos? Yeah.
Looks like he may be going out.
I remember one other team too, but I can't remember who it was for sure. It's so long ago. And I didn't like actually follow baseball, so I just knew him. I knew who he was from like Sports Center, but I mainly knew what I know about baseball from the video games back then.
The Maniac really has it locked on.
Mark Lewin is definitely an aggressive bowler for sure.
Tight to referee Todd Johnson.
And he looks like an old gym teacher.
Checks him once, checks him tight, twice, and he says,
yeah, there you go,
it.
the twins. Yeah.
Okay, oh, and the Maniac goes after the referee now.
Yeah, I want to say Toronto. I can visualize it. Did he come in at maybe at the end of his career? Did he play for the Yankees? Like on one of the seasons where they like just loaded up the team? Oh, it's so long ago.
Doesn't weigh 115, 20 pounds. He gets thrown out of the ring. And now the Maniac going back after Rick Casey.
You're a mere 21. That's understandable.
Casey put out with a sleeper. He's still out. Here comes Dennis Goulet, Rick McCord. The Maniac is going after them. They threw us a while ago with him.
He was like, to me, he was a big star, like at a time when like there weren't like there weren't like 3 or 4 or 5 guys on every team that were like stars. You know what I mean? Like he had like an aura back in the day.
Big victory, and now they're paying for it at the hands of the Maniac. Mark Lewin, the Colonel's in there kicking. Here comes, let's see, that's Dusty Wood.
Oh, Kirby
The Colonel
Puckett.
is punishing Rick Casey. There goes Dennis Goulet. Of course, Mark Lewin, the Maniac, is in Texas hunting Bruiser Brody. The last time Bruiser Brody was in Texas.
Okay, so are we doing, Stack is doing the English and this guy's doing the Spanish version? It's interesting to do them both at the exact same time.
He met Abdullah the Butcher. What a brawl they had at the Hemisphere Arena. We want to take you now and show you Bruiser Brody against Abdullah the Butcher. Here they are. Brody has a chair. Brody has a chair. Whoa! Right across the head of Abdullah the Butcher. Brody with a chop to the head of Abdullah the Butcher. And another one. Brody biting Abdullah the Butcher. Brody rolls up underneath the bottom rope. He's in the ring.
We get a Bruiser Brody versus Abdullah the Butcher brawl.
Abdullah the Butcher still outside, trying to make his way up. Here he comes. Brody's waiting on him. Big chops from Brody. Does it again. Abdullah trying to get into the ring, trying to work his way in between the ropes. He finally gets there. Brody goes to pulling it maybe close to the eye there. It's around the area by, and Abdullah kicks him. Whoa! Down goes the referee. Abdullah the Butcher right there.
Man, that was a nice punch.
Headbutt from Abdullah the Butcher, and George Stevens is out.
Look how high
No referee.
Oh, my God. Wow.
These two guys don't like to have a referee anywhere around, and they sure got their chance right here as they're both have taken care of George Stevens. Coming out of the dressing room on the right, I see another referee has been called by one of the officials. This will be Rudy Gonzalez on the referee.
Oh, really? He got in a brawl with Jim Hunter? That's awesome. Man, he is big, and dude is so flexible, man. You see how easy he got his foot up? There was, like, no effort. Kicking completely. He could have kicked completely over the dude's head without even, like, stressing about it.
Referee would referee some of the earlier matches here at the Hemisphere Arena. He's asking for the bell.
Man.
I know that he's going to really stop these two guys. Yeah, down go Rudy Gonzalez. Brody and Abdullah the Butcher are coming outside into the crowd.
I love Abdullah. I don't really like his matches are not always the most exciting to watch, but as a character, like, I love Abdullah the Butcher.
Better clear the way as these two giants are battling outside. George Stevens.
Oh yeah, Brody's way bigger than Hogan for sure, like especially height-wise.
Being helped out of the ring by the doctor. Brody and Abdullah the Butcher battling it out. They're in the crowd. Look out. Here they come. The lights come on. They're battling. A little choking, a little punching, a little bit of everything.
If this was Memphis, the locker room would have cleared. We'd be having these people be fighting all over this place.
They're out in the crowd. They're coming over to where the TV cameras are.
Wow.
They're fighting. They're still fighting. We've lost them now. The crowd is all over the place. Brody has a board as the fans have come up onto the stand. They're milling all around the cameras and everywhere else.
That really looks like he just tore it off of the building somehow. It's not like a clean 2x4.
Able to control as Brody and Abdullah the Butcher are still fighting right here.
Oh, there they are, leaned behind the guy, whoever that is with the mullet.
Brody and Abdullah the Butcher battling out to our left in amongst the crowd.
He's here. He's just in the, well, I don't know. This is from a different show, obviously. Paul Diamond is around. I don't know how he factors into the show.
Having a hard time with the young kids coming up on the stand.
But yeah, he was in the back getting an involuntary haircut, I think.
The fans began to yell, "Bruiser, Bruiser."
Blood everywhere, too.
They're all over. They're just about to step on our equipment as Brody and Abdullah are still battling over here on the left.
Ooh. Look at Abdullah. What an interesting guy. Like, what else is this guy gonna? He's
They're
just made to
battling
be
it
a
out
wrestler.
over here on the left. Now they're battling back towards the dressing rooms. They're just going to battle it completely out of the arena. I've lost them. There they are. I can't get this crowd out of the way. Very
Put it in his
unruly.
throat.
They're still battling it off on the left. And ladies and gentlemen, this crowd is moving now as Abdullah the Butcher and Brody have come up onto the high-rise area. They're here.
Look at the chairs. That's kind of interesting.
Abdullah and Brody right up here on the high-rise area. The San Antonio Police Department has cleared everybody out. They're still battling it out.
Here come all the cops.
Abdullah and Brody. Oh, there's a big chop. They're very close to us here. Walk riding into the camera. They're just a foot away from the camera.
I need to watch his shoot interview with Hannibal that he did a little while ago. I keep forgetting. I'm hoping to get more insight into who Paul Diamond is.
Battling out. Headbutt. Brody. Abdullah the Butcher. I don't want to be this close to these guys, but there's nowhere I can go. Brody and Abdullah still battling it around. They're being knocked all over the high-rise.
Kick him right off that
Here comes
thing.
Brody with a chair right here to my
announcer.
left. Abdullah the Butcher is down off the high-rise. Abdullah the Butcher and Brody. Abdullah's not through yet, I don't believe. Maybe he's leaving. I don't believe there'll be any decision on this match. Well, now you've had a look at Bruiser Brody, the 300-pounder. You've seen the maniac Mark Lewin terrorizing Rick Casey here last week on Texas All-Star Wrestling, and they're in the Lone Star Shootout with Texas All-Star Wrestling. The Lone Star Shootout is coming your way just in a couple days. So all you fans, what's in your town, be sure you pick it out. That's the maniac Mark Lewin and Bruiser Brody and the Lone Star Shootout. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be
Here we
back
go.
with another match.
Okay, so Paul Diamond is coming out now. Well, I don't know. Should we call him former drug addict? Because in 85, we don't know. In 86, he was former drug addict, but in 87, he was former drug addict. Then in 87, he sold out all of his buddies. Hard to say. But him and his friend are taking on Kelly and the Samoan. Sure to be a whale of a match.
This match, ladies and gentlemen, tag team match. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing on my right, with a combined weight of 480 pounds from New York
Look at
City,
this
New
guy,
York,
man. He's fantastic.
Paul Kelly.
I have got to have an action figure of this guy. I've got to have this guy. I don't want to miss a second of this character. He looks like a lounge singer.
His partner from Hawaii, the Samoa.
The Samoan. Vegan Patriot is the most patriotic emote I have.
Their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, with a combined weight of 460 pounds, the American Force.
Wow, that's really interesting. Only 4 days, 4 days a week in 85 is like, that's a pretty big deal.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The American Force
All right, there he is, Paul Diamond.
made their appearance here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. We're ready to go as we get the bell. There it is, the American Force. That's Frankie Lang and Paul Diamond. It's Paul Diamond in the ring.
The Samoan.
They're going against the Samoan and Paul Kelly. Let's see who starts for that team. Diamond is ready to go.
Paul Kelly and the Samoan.
It's going to be Paul Kelly against Paul Diamond.
Battle of the Pauls.
Referee Todd Johnson. Kelly backs Diamond into the corner. Referee starts the count. It's 5 to break out of the corner. There's a forearm across the chest on a break by Kelly. Grabs him by the arm. Reversal by Diamond. Into the corner goes Kelly. A hip toss by Diamond. An arm drag. And down goes Paul Kelly. Diamond tags out to the other half of the American Force. This is Frankie Lang. Elbow into the left arm of Paul Kelly by Lang. Hip toss. And the American Force makes her first appearance here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
I love Mid-South. That's what I originally tried to watch on here, but WWE shut it down pretty quick.
Very exciting. Diamond comes in. He comes into the shoulder of Paul Kelly. Puts the armbar on.
Maybe drug addict Paul Diamond. What's up, Anand? Yeah, 4 days a week. Wow, and 85.
Paul Diamond. Frankie Lang, the American Force. Fireman's carry. Nice takedown by Paul Diamond.
Big old Diamond cowboy hats in the crowd. Look at this guy.
Comes into the sport.
Look at this row of guys right here.
Professional soccer. He spent 3.5 years with the Tampa Rowdies. You know how tough soccer is. He was well qualified to get into professional wrestling. I can guarantee you that. There's a tag the other way. The Samoan.
Uh-oh, here we go. The Samoan.
Starts in. He tells Frankie Lang to get back out. Back up. Let me in the ring, and here comes the Samoan, Sakalia. Side headlock by Frankie. In comes Diamond. Diamond goes to the side headlock.
I didn't see Pat Tanaka. I did, though. I was listening to Marty Jannetty's recent Party with Marty episode, which was terrible, by the way. I don't know how. It's no wonder Marty Jannetty, despite having some of the best stories and being one of the most interesting old school wrestlers, has a Boit podcast, is because the podcast is awful. But he referenced Pat Tanaka, and I meant to look it up and see what he was talking about. But it was interesting just to get a random Pat Tanaka drop.
Lock on the Samoan, really cranks it on. Off the ropes, shoulder knocks the Samoan down. Diamond in front, hip toss. Takes the Samoan to the mat, but the Samoan comes up with a head scissor on Paul Diamond. He didn't keep it very long as Diamond kicked out. So tag the other way, yes.
That's Uncle Joe. That's Uncle Joe out in the crowd. That could be.
Frankie Lang.
You know that row of cowboy hat guys has definitely run a train on like a lot lizard.
Between the ropes, he's tagged in. He goes to the head of Samoan, pulls him out of the corner. The American Force.
Yeah, he's got a podcast. It's called Party with Marty. But most of the time okay, this last episode was supposed to be reviewing the last season of Dark Side of the Ring. And it just was a complete disaster. I don't know what the deal is with him. Like, you would think anything Marty Jannetty would do would be interesting, but I don't know if it's maybe he needs a different person to, like, wrangle him or something to, I don't know.
Frankie Lang, Paul Diamond here on Texas All.
There you go, Backwoods Squatch. Yeah, that might be it. It's nothing against the guy that he's with. He seems okay, but like, you got to wrangle somebody like Jannetty. Sometimes you got to like pull a story out of him.
Star Wrestling. There's a tag. This is their first appearance on television.
Marty Jannetty.
Side headlock by Paul Diamond now.
The part that I think was the funniest in the podcast was he said that, hold on, I'm high, I forgot now. Oh, he was talking about his action figure. He's got a new, like, one of those off brands is making a Marty Jannetty action figure. And he was showing it with some championship belts from the WWF. And I guess someone in a comment section somewhere pointed out that he's not recognized as a tag team champion, and that must have really got him in his feelings, because he brought that up and he said he wanted a tag team title included with each figure. Oh, Don Morocco.
Diamond really has it tied on tight. Samoan finds himself being taken down with a hip toss. Referee checks his shoulders. They're up, no count. There's a count now as a Samoan had him down for 2. Paul Diamond continues to hold on to that headlock as he backs up, tags out to.
They're not making new episodes of that, right? No, it's not made by Mattel. It's like there is a Marty Jannetty Mattel figure. It came in like I think it came in a Throwback Rockers 2-pack, is the only Mattel Marty Jannetty that I know of, or that I can think of offhand. This is made by, like, remember that guy Zack Ryder? I don't know that he makes them for sure, but like I know he has an action figure line, and there's a few other like kind of third party ones. He says that because they won it on they won like a test run, and then they got the belts that was never like acknowledged on TV. But like he said that he still considers himself Intercontinental Champion and 2-time Tag Team Champion.
To his partner, Frankie Lang. They're the American Force. Off the ropes comes the Samoan. One drop kick and one chop.
You think he's pinning Hogan with his action figure?
Oh, that's getting him by surprise. Nice slam by Frankie. Leg across the chest. And in behind. He grabs the Samoan, brings him up, tags out to Paul Diamond. See what they do this time. They get in front. Elbow flip. 1, 2. It's not over yet. The Samoan with a punch to the...
He's like, that's not how it's going to go this time, Marty. I'm like, Sean, I'm going to kick you through the window, man. I'm going to be the champ. I'm going to feud with Bret Hart, man. It's going to be about Marty.
The rib cage, and Diamond tags out. In comes Frankie Lang. The American Force, we're going to be talking to him if we can get him after this match. The Samoan takes Lang, puts him into the rope, knocks him down with a big elbow.
Well, it's just, and plus, like, on top of everything else, like, he knows that we know. It's not the old days where nobody knows what happened at a dark match. Like, we know he won at the dark. We understand that they put titles on people to gauge a crowd reaction and then take them off before TV. Like, but he seems to take, well, I think it's just because he got in his feelings because somebody was messing with him. And so he kind of spurred a little bit on the podcast. They could have Lynx make a Marty Jannetty. Wow.
Tags out to Paul Kelly. The Samoan holds. Kelly hits.
I think it's just because it's Marty Jannetty. He was probably just probably salty in the moment, and it bled into the podcast. Because that's the place he has to air his grievances. He was also upset because he felt like they over fact-checked him on his episode. Because keep in mind, he has an episode of Dark Side of the Ring, so he's like gonna, in theory, I tuned in to see him reviewing his own episode, which he never even brought it up. Aside from that, he said he was over fact-checked, but that they let the Matt Bourne episode just go wild. And he kept saying really funny shit that I thought was funny. He would go, now listen, man, I'm not gonna say Cheryl's name. I'm not gonna say her name. Okay, I'm not gonna say Cheryl's name. But there was a woman that was with him and then he would say everyone's name and then say that he wasn't gonna say their name. It was really weird. He did it like a bunch.
Ooh, I heard that fist pop up here.
I think he should be more focused on when he broke that guy's neck doing the rocker dropper.
Kelly with an elbow to the back of the neck, puts Lang down to his knees. Lang tries to crawl over to tag out to Paul Diamond. He couldn't get there as Kelly held on to the head. In comes the Samoan again, a kick to the rib cage. Frankie Lang by the Samoan. Lang trying to get over to tag out to Diamond. Samoan. And Kelly not letting him. Oh, he rolled very close to Diamond that time. Still couldn't stretch far enough. Tagged the other way. In comes Kelly with a kick. Coming in for a slam. Oh, and Lang moved out of the way. He does make the tag now. In comes Diamond. Diamond goes over there. Has the Samoan out on the apron. Drop kicks the Samoan down onto the apron. Takes.
I mean, if I ever reboot Heroes of Wrestling, we will for sure bring Marty in for a shot. He's funny. I mean, I think he's the best when he's got a good interviewer. I feel like a lot of his shoot interviews are really entertaining. But out of the podcast, I mean, it's fun in like a train wreck type of way, I guess. But I just feel like he has so many good stories, and he's exactly one of the few people who would is in a position that he could actually be honest and tell these like crazy stories. And for some reason, he wants to focus on like who made him mad on Facebook that day.
And the Samoan and slams their heads together. Diamond picks the Samoan up, has him down for a slam. Here comes Kelly in. Lang immediately goes for Kelly. There's a takedown with the leg by Diamond. Now
What's up,
Diamond
Steve?
has the Samoan down. Let's see, he gets a count. Yes, he does. One,
There he
two,
goes.
three. 1, 2, 3, and the crowd goes wild as the American Force tag team combination of Frankie Lang and Paul Diamond win it here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Let's see if we can get him up here before we break.
Do you think the reason that he doesn't just go completely ape shit is because deep down he thinks one day they're gonna like bring him back and he's gonna? Do you think they'll put like he thinks they'll put him and Sean, or they'll honor like the Rockers versus the Orient Express by inducting a match into the Hall of Fame or something?
The American Force, that's the name you're going to have to reckon with, because they are going to be a great tag team combination. Here they come right here. Frankie Lang, Paul Diamond. Paul, we want to welcome you to Texas, and we want to welcome the American Force to Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Thank you, Steve Sachs. I'm very glad to be here.
I hope I don't run into Joe LeDuc and get a haircut.
See all the fine people in Texas. We're looking for tough competition. We want those tag team belts, and we're going to get them.
Frankie Lang.
Thank you, Steve. Like you said, the American Force talks for itself. Whoever you are, sign the contract. 1, 2, 3, just like those two punks we just beat right now, Steve.
Frankie Lang, Paul Diamond, there, the American Force. Stay tuned, because we'll be back with more exciting action right after this.
Yeah, they are never going to allow Marty Jannetty to get on a hot mic at a WWE event of that scale, in my opinion. He'd start talking about how he had shoplifted the day before or something. Like, there's no way they're going to trust him to get on a mic. I don't know if this is after, before, during, or after when Blanchard had Southeast Championship Wrestling, but this is like, from what I read, like either adjacent to it, or it's running in it's the same people but in a slightly different area. I don't really know, to be honest. There's another wrestling company that's active now called Texas All-Star Wrestling, and that messed up all the search results. Everything kept coming up for them. You met Marty a few years ago? That's pretty funny. Was he at a table, or did you go up and did they like bring him up into the ring for the pictures? That's how you know you're a star, when you get to go up in the ring.
This event, ladies and gentlemen, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing from parts unknown, he is 6 foot 10 inches, weighs 405
Oh shit! Look at this, guys.
pounds. The Terminator. His opponent,
Oh my gosh! Wow, Fred Ottman is the Terminator.
weighing in at 300 pounds from Iowa, Tug Taylor.
Hold on. Okay, the guy who played Tugboat is wrestling as the Terminator against a guy named Tug, who looks like a Temu version of him.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. You heard us talk about the Terminator. He's bigger than we thought. He's 405 pounds. He's going against a big man who would be a giant in his own. That's Tug Taylor, who weighs in at 300 pounds. But look at the Terminator take him onto the ropes. The Terminator, what a forearm this guy throws. He backs out of there. Just look at the face of the Terminator. You know how tough he is. 405 pounds, 6 foot 10. Takes Taylor, pushes him into the rope, goes right on him. Has Taylor around the waist with a bear hug. Pulls him off the ropes, backs out of the way.
So we started seeing him about a little over a year after this in Memphis in mid to late 86, I think, as Big Bubba. But now he's the Terminator.
There goes the Terminator. He hooks up with Taylor, takes him onto the ropes again. Puts him in a side headlock. Boy, he squeeze that head. Takes Taylor back to the ropes again. The Terminator steps out of there. Hey, this guy, something. Look at the size.
At least you got kind of like, you got a Marty Jannetty story. I mean, that's better than like a picture. Bowling shoe ugly.
Those arms, 24 inches maybe. 65, 70. I said, oh, he has 300 pounds up. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't go right to that ring. Drops across with an elbow. That's 405 pounds.
I used to go to a lot of like small time conventions. Like, oh, God, it's probably been like 20 years ago. But back then, I don't know if there are anymore or not, but there used to be this like all kinds of like little rinky dink things that would pop up, and they'd have like, I don't know, 5 to 10 different. Like one time I went to one that had the guy who was inside the robot on Lost in Space, and he held like a little Q&A, and there was only like 6 people in the audience.
Pounds on top of Tug Taylor.
I got a lot of questions answered, including if he ever farted inside the robot. But he said they built an entire thing on the inside. It wasn't specifically for farting, but it was like for like air circulation, because he had to be in it like for a long time.
And he throw him off, just barely.
But what I thought was really funny is there were some people there who, I mean, I'm not knocking anybody who thinks Lost in Space is like the best show ever, but like there were people there who were acting as if this guy had written the Bible. Like it was really strange.
Wow.
Pre versus post tugboat.
All you professional wrestlers.
Look at this body
this.
type by Fred Ott.
Look out and beware of the Terminator. As he has Tug Taylor now on the ropes. Referee says break. It's Taylor coming out there with a side headlock. The Terminator takes him, whips him into the rope. Terminator goes in. Oh, he gets that big boot up into the chest. Down went Tug Taylor.
Fred Ottman has the same build here as that chick I watched that cuts all the firewood.
The Terminator looks at Taylor. They lock up in the referee's position. Oh, he has him up on the shoulder. Ooh. That's a fireman's carry, except he drops him back. He comes up
was
on
that
top
an angle
of Tug
slam?
Taylor. There's no way Taylor's going to get up from this. That's what he calls a Terminator hold, move, whatever, as he took Tug Taylor.
That was great. Hey, that's what he calls a Terminator move, hold, whatever.
Just picked him up, put him across that fireman's carry, dropped him back into the ring, and came on top of him. And the Terminator, in his first match here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
First match, wow.
Wrestling comes out to winner. And ladies and gentlemen, earlier before the Terminator came into the ring, we went into the dressing room, tried to talk to the man, find out what he was here for, and all that he would tell us, that he was here for a purpose. What that purpose is, he wouldn't tell us. He was around a lot of people that were all big. Of course, the Colonel.
I love the chaos of the interviewer of these news segments with the two people talking at the same time.
Was right there with him. So there's the Terminator. You'll be hearing a lot about him here in weeks to come on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Stay tuned, because we'll be back with another match right after this.
Oh my God, Buck Robley against Rick McCord. Holy shit. Hey, but for real, how much do you appreciate Lance Russell right now after seeing this Texas announcer? Lance is like an Oscar winner.
This event, ladies and
Buck
gentlemen,
Robley.
will be a
Oh
one-fall
my
10-minute time
God.
limit. Introducing on my right, weighing in at 240 pounds from Louisiana, Colonel Buck Robley. His opponent.
I always thought Buck Robley looked and dressed like a what would you call it? Like a high concept comedian, like stand-up comedian.
Weighing in at 222 pounds from North Carolina, Rick McCord.
There's the bell, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to go. As the Colonel Buck Robley takes on Rick McCord. Look at Robley get off the ropes. He gets off there in a hurry. He doesn't want any part of McCord on those ropes. Back into the corner again. It's McCord in front. Push that arm. Robley takes him all the way across the ring, turns him around, and throws him into that turnbuckle. McCord stays on top of him, buries his shoulder into the midsection of the Colonel. Don't forget, our logo contest. We're looking for a logo that we can put on all our advertising, all our letterheads and everything for Texas All-Star Wrestling. Design us a logo, send it in.
Come on, Buck.
Must be postmarked by May the 21st, and we'll announce the winner on Monday the 27th when we do our television program. Send it to 831 Fulton Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78212. That's Texas All-Star Wrestling. The winner will receive 3 nights in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico at the Sheraton Hotel. We'll pay the airplane fee from San Antonio to Puerto Vallarta and all airport transfers. So send us your logos. You might be the winner and spend 3 days in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Rick McCord holds on to the
I'm not convinced that Joe Blanchard would put out for a nice hotel.
arm of Buck Roby, has a wrist bent back. Roby wants to throw a fist. The referee is right there. Roby decides not to.
Buck's dressed like a puppeteer.
Shoulder down goes the Colonel. Over the top goes McCord. Oh, and a nice takedown by Rick McCord, but he doesn't keep him there as Roby had the head scissors on McCord, and McCord bounced out of there quickly. Texas All-Star Wrestling coming to you from the Wrestlathon in San Antonio, Texas, where we are every Monday night. If you're in San Antonio, come on by. We'd like to see you.
Outlandish.
Roby takes McCord, headbutts him, down goes McCord.
Stephen Wright, yeah, that's in line,
Colonel.
close to what I'm talking about.
Reaches down, grabs a hair of McCord, takes a piss.
His entire, everything about him is like atypical to a wrestler of this era.
Goes into the head.
I mean, his look isn't that far off, but like the way that he dresses, the way that he acts, he's like an old school type heel.
Rick McCord. Don't forget that Lone Star Shootout. Bruiser Brody against a maniac, Mark Lewin. Don't miss it. Off the ropes comes McCord. The Colonel turns around and knocks him down with an elbow.
Look how deliberate he is.
The maniac takes a boot, lays it on the side of the...
You liked World Class? I've seen some World Class, not a lot. I've seen what was up on the network at one time. And then I've seen a couple documentaries and like some like clip edits on YouTube, but that's about it.
Ear of McCord and rakes it down across the head.
I think that Buck Robley would absolutely be able to get over as a monster, not as a monster heel, but like as a really over as a heel now. Like his deliberate style of like letting everything breathe and taking time between moves would really piss off a lot of modern fans, I think. Well, it'd piss off people in general.
Cord up, drops him across that top rope.
No, this is Joe Blanchard's company, I'm pretty sure.
Well, the Colonel can do a little bit of everything. First neck breaker, McCord's down right in the center of the ring. Robley snatches a leg. It's 1, 2, 3, and the Colonel makes quick work of Rick McCord. The Colonel, Buck Robley, wins it here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Yeah. Stay tuned because...
That's what I've seen is just when the stuff that was up on demand. I swear they used to have a lot more. I remember at one time there was like almost no ECW, but there was a ton of territory stuff, and now it's like vice versa.
The Maniac, Mark Lewin, is coming up next, right after this.
CM Punk said when he went to OVW, you could just tell, like the trainers, you could be like, I want the entire. He asked him for the entire run of Smoky Mountain, and like they just ran it off for him. Like that'd be incredible. Get every championship wrestling from Florida they have.
This event, ladies and gentlemen, will be a one-fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing from San Antonio, Texas, weighing in at 230 pounds, Henry Garcia.
Henry Garcia. Yeah, this is one of very few territories that have a big available library that isn't WWF or WWE owned. This is me doing IRL.
Weighing in at 260 from parts unknown, Colonel Buck Robley presents
crazy. He started throwing chairs. Now he's taking Henry Garcia and is throwing him out into the... Wait a minute, he's tearing the boards off the bleachers again. This maniac is nuts. Lewin has Garcia into the steel post. Well, you see why he's called the maniac. He's cleaning house. The maniac has a chair. He's going after Henry Garcia, lays it across the top of the head. Well, it's been a while since Henry has been on Texas All-Star Wrestling. I bet you he wish he didn't show up tonight. Look at Lewin. He is a maniac. You don't have to worry about that. The minute he got into the ring, they went after him. Henry Garcia, but here comes Henry. Henry is going after the maniac.
Oh, I think the Vault put up the whole gimmick battle royal. There's and what's his name was in it? Downtown Bruno was in the gimmick battle royal. I completely forgot about him being in it.
And the maniac decides to step out onto the apron. He didn't expect that. Hey, he has a steel standard that holds a rope up around the ring to keep the fans from running into the ring. He just drops it.
Interesting.
Maniac Mark Lewin.
Did you see how low the ring is?
With the Colonel Buck Robley in his corner. Maniac is here for one thing and one thing only. That is to meet Bruiser Brody in the Lone Star Shootout. There goes Henry, thrown out of the ring again. The Maniac, is he going out after him? Yes, he is. The referee, Todd Johnson, trying to get the Maniac back into the ring.
Todd.
But the Maniac is not listening. Maniac has Henry Garcia. What's he going to do with it? Throw him into the steel post. Oh, there goes Henry down again. Mark Lewin, he's the Maniac. You don't have to worry about that. People in Texas
my God, look at this.
All the crazy things that a professional wrestler can do to hurt people. That's Lewin, just like he's doing right now. Our floor camera is out there in the crowd. The fans start down after the Maniac, and they don't want any part of the Maniac. Let me tell you that. This guy, you don't have to worry. He is nuts. All you have to do is look at him. Sleeper hold.
Oh, wow.
Sleeper hold. The Maniac, Mark Lewin, snatches it on Henry Garcia. He has that sleeper hold on tight. How long can Henry Garcia last? Look at the eyes of the Maniac. They're rolled back in his head. Henry Garcia is just about gone.
He looked to make sure the camera was still on him.
Yep, there it is. The Maniac has put Henry Garcia out of it. Now the referee, Todd Johnson, is going to try to get the Maniac. Oh, there goes Todd. He's pushed back. The Maniac.
Yeah, there's Buck.
The Colonel has given the Maniac something. I don't know what it is. He's going after Todd Johnson. He hits him in the head with it. I don't know what the Colonel gave the Maniac, but he went to the head
Colonel,
of Todd
how come
Johnson.
he's dressed like
Henry Garcia's out. Oh, Robley is over there. Poor
Why is
Todd.
he dressed like that with a military
He took a beating last week, and he's taking one now.
Oh, man, they gigged the ref.
Punishing Todd.
What?
Robley's over there kicking Garcia out of the ring. I don't know what the Maniac has, but Robley is laughing.
Oh, my
Poor
God.
Todd
Who's the big baby face that can save
He's
him?
getting it from the Maniac. You don't think this guy's nuts?
Bruiser Brody?
Huh. Here comes the American Force. Rudy Gonzalez is out there. Todd Johnson has been brutally taken care of by the Maniac, Mark Lewin. Todd is going to need help. I wonder if they got a stretcher. Oh, I don't know. Here comes a chair into the ring. The Maniac turned a Sweet Tan is in there. Todd Johnson
You say
is
Bob
going to need help to
Sweet
get
Tan
out of
was
this ring. They're all out there now trying to protect him. I see Tom Jones has come out. Well, Bruiser Brody, wherever you are, look out for the Maniac in that Lone Star Shootout, because you can
Man, he gave it up too, man. He was really flowing.
see how dangerous this guy is. Henry Garcia's out. We're waiting to see for a stretcher. Now they're going to have to carry him out and take him to the
Look at that
hospital.
guy
There's
in the
no
crowd.
doubt about it. Todd Johnson is completely whipped here. They carry him out of the ring. Well, the Maniac has reappeared here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, and you can see the damage he has done.
Max and Humongous against somebody in Atlas. Are we going to get Tony Atlas?
This tag team match, ladies and gentlemen, will be one fall with a 10-minute time limit.
He grabbed my
Introducing to my
in the shower.
right, with a combined weight of 595 pounds.
Oh, shit. Look who it is. The Doctor of Style, baby. Oh, my gosh. Oh, remember Mark Coleman? Oh, my God. What a beast. Did you ever see It's Me when he did that open weight tournament in Pride? That was nuts. What's up, Robot Glock? Man, Slick is managing the old Humongous.
Known Mad Max and his partner, Lord Humongous, with their manager, Slick. Their opponents with a combined weight of 490 pounds from Georgia, Tom Jones. His partner from South America, Omar Atlas.
Okay, so it's Omar Atlas.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God, Omar
With a tag
Atlas.
team match as Slick has brought Lord Humongous and Mad Max together as a tag team combination to go against Omar Atlas and Tom Jones. The referee is John Martinez. Tom Jones. Oh, the crowd is still buzzing from what happened earlier when the Maniac Mark
Yeah, I wish we could watch Pride on here, but UFC's super strict.
Lewin was into the ring.
They're one of the few people who will even go after like shorts creators, which is pretty rare because there's a lot more protection built into shorts than there are to videos or streams.
Tom Jones
Which one, Randy? The one that Slick is wearing or the one that Tom Jones is wearing?
with Mad Max. They lock up in the referee's position. It's a forearm by Mad Max, and then Max has Tom Jones up and slams him down. Armbar. Forearm to the shoulder. Tag. In comes Lord Humongous, 300 pounds. Push to the arm by Humongous. Forearm into the shoulder of Tom Jones.
This guy's huge.
Shoulder of Jones thrown into the turnbuckle. Oh, what giants here on Texas All-Star Wrestling today.
Damn.
And the biggest giant of them all, Bruiser Brody, is coming after the Maniac, Mark Lewin. That's in the Lone Star Shootout coming your way. Mad Max is back in. Mad Max is about 278 pounds. Lord Humongous is over 300 pounds, and Tom Jones lays one. Another one.
You know what strikes me about this after we've spent so much time in Memphis is just that the people who produced Memphis understood TV. Like, they knew wrestling, obviously, but they also, like, they got TV. They knew how to structure a show, how to build an episode. That, to me, is, like, severely lacking here. Like, we have storyline direction. Storylines are progressing, but, like, it feels like they know wrestling, but they don't. They're struggling with, like, the TV presentation element of it.
And into Mad Max. He calls for Omar Atlas to get a forearm up there and lay it into Mad Max, and Omar does, and he tags in.
Which probably helps if you're, like, shooting at a TV station, I would assume.
Atlas has Mad Max up for a slam. Goes with a drop kick. Mad Max is staggered. Atlas trying to get between the legs of Mad Max. He does. Turns around, grabs the leg of Max. And here comes Humongous in. It's 2-on-1. Ooh, those are big forearms when you get Mad Max and Lord Humongous throwing them. Omar Atlas catches an elbow. Down he goes. Hammerlock. Tag. In comes Mad Max. Slick has the crowd going crazy over there. Mad Max. Lord Humongous punishing Omar Atlas. Atlas trying to make his way over. Tag out to Tom Jones. He can't get there yet. Clothesline.
Oh, no.
Oh. A clothesline, and Omar Atlas finds himself being choked now by Mad Max.
Omar Atlas.
Referee John Martinez makes him break off the ropes.
Yeah, it just seems like that the Memphis shows, like, flow so well. And this was just kind of like, it feels more like, you know, one of those syndicated shows where it's just like a bunch of matches with like little tiny interview segments.
Omar Atlas in the corner. Mad Max and Lord Humongous after him. They keep him in the corner. Oh, he picks him up by the throat, throws him into the corner. Omar Atlas kicking. Atlas trying to get over to Tom Jones. Here's a drop kick. Wow. Here he is. Tom Jones now gets in as Omar Atlas finally gets out. Tom Jones trying to take this Lord Humongous and knock him off his feet. He hasn't done it yet. He just shakes his head after his head being slammed into that turnbuckle. He comes out of that turnbuckle again, turns around. Off the ropes to the midsection by Tom Jones with the fist, but Lord Humongous is still standing. Forearm across the chest. Another one.
Do you think he was expecting to have the night off is why he's dressed like this, but then whenever the guy got almost bled out in the ring, they had to bring him in?
Across the chest. Roseline. There's a tag. Omar Atlas back in.
Paul Diamond in a hockey match.
Arm across the chest of Lord Humongous. Atlas going for a slam. He can't pick him up.
I know it's not him, but it reminds me of, I keep looking at him and thinking that it's Hercules Hernandez.
Now it's
Pontflair said his name earlier. I can't remember what it is, though.
Lord Humongous having Omar Atlas up and slammed him down. There's a tag. In comes Mad Max. Mad Max picks Omar Atlas up, takes him, drops him across that top rope. Omar Atlas is down. Mad Max stays right with him. Arm into the chest, one from outside the ring. Here comes Tom Jones. Mad Max goes after him.
Rico, man. What's up,
Mad Max has Tom Jones in the corner. Lord Humongous is staying with Omar Atlas. Let's see what happens. They're thrown together. Collision. Mad Max is knocked down, but Lord Humongous stands up. Try it again. See if they can get the Lord Humongous down. They collide. No. Oh. Omar Atlas goes with Mad Max. Tom Jones stays with Lord Humongous. The referee is asking for the bell. I think he's going to disqualify both teams because the match completely out of hand. He can't get anybody.
Oh, come on, ref.
Omar Atlas is going over the top rope. So is Mad Max. They're out on the...
Why are... I don't get it. Why are they getting so much in this match? Like, am I wrong? It feels like Humongous's team should, like, squash these other guys, and yet they're, like, coming off looking like they're equals. Everyone in the background looks like they have a Ninja Turtle face in this one, these two guys especially. Yeah, I like Repo Man. I haven't seen it.
All four men.
I think the last time I saw Repo Man, Anchor Bay had released it on DVD, and it came in like a big metal tin license plate type case, if I remember right.
Battling it outside the ring. They're
It was some
going
kind
all
of like
over
a
the
big
place
tin
here
case.
at the Wrestlathon. Omar Atlas and Lord Humongous. Slick is over there in the ring. It's Tom Jones and Mad Max, and things are really out of control today.
He's like, listen, fellas, these jeans are starting to chafe.
Well, that's a disqualification on both teams. As the referee
He forgot to put on his, what's that shit, Gold Bond.
John Martinez dies to keep them separated. They're all back in the ring. Here comes the Colonel Buck Robley in there. He's trying to get them out. Stay tuned, because we'll be back with another match right after this.
Oh, man. Chavo Guerrero, the Bandito.
This again, ladies and gentlemen, will be a one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing on my left, weighing in at 220 pounds, from San Antonio, Texas, Rudy Gonzalez.
Oh, wow. Now, did Rudy wrestle in WWF, right? I swear he did. Where do I know that name from? Did he have like a one-off appearance in a Rumble or something? Rudy Gonzalez. Where do I know that name from? Did Rudy Gonzalez ever wrestle in Ring of Honor or where? I know that name from somewhere. Oh, here we go. Let's go. Lalito. Fantastic.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our ring announcer Marty Martinez has introduced Chavo Guerrero and Rudy Gonzalez.
Rudy Gonzalez.
The Bandito Chavo Guerrero. Here we go.
I gotta know.
Nice arm drag. That's one of them quick snapping arm drags by Chavo Guerrero. Rudy Gonzalez comes up with one. Bounces Guerrero on the mat. Referee John Martinez just looks at Chavo Guerrero. Chavo is trying to tell John maybe that he pulled a hair or something. Look at here. Oh, you talk about wrestling moves now. Chavo Guerrero, whether you like him or not, that's some of the finest wrestling moves you've ever seen in a wrestling ring.
Okay, I know Rudy Gonzalez because he was a trainer at TWA, Shawn Michaels' wrestling academy. I think I remember hearing about it when Bryan Danielson was coming up in Ring of Honor. They would talk about his training, and I think that's where I know that name, Rudy Gonzalez.
Uppercut forearm, staggers Gonzalez under the ropes. Another uppercut forearm, knocks him back into the corner. Chavo Guerrero flips him out. Whoa. Did he throw him high in the air as he flipped him out of that corner? Guerrero bouncing Rudy Gonzalez off the rope. Over the top. Gonzalez doesn't get to take Chavo with him, and Chavo comes up with a fist. Texas All-Star Wrestling's logo contest, and it's your logo designed as Texas All-Star Wrestling, 831
There you go.
Fulton Center.
Yeah, it's definitely from Ring of Honor then. Oh, against Steve Corino. Okay. Yeah, man, Rudy Boy Gonzalez. Wow.
Antonio, Texas, 78212. And if you're the winner, you'll get 3 days in Puerto Vallarta on Texas All-Star Wrestling. So send those logos in. They must be postmarked by the 21st of May. Gonzalez catches a big kick from Chavo Guerrero. Chavo rakes the boots around the area of the eyes. Suplex. Chavo whips Gonzalez across the ring, gets in front.
I wish we could watch those early Ring of Honors too, man. Especially the like 04, 05, 06. Man, I could give like some fun commentary on those, but I don't even know, like, are they even available through AEW? I know they own them, but like, do they only own the Sinclair era Ring of Honor? Because like if you go to Honor Club or whatever, you can't watch the like original run of Ring of Honor, it doesn't seem like.
Has him up. There's that move. Oh, there's that move right onto the neck of Rudy Gonzalez. 1, 2, 3. A nice bridge by Chavo Guerrero as he takes Rudy.
Where's Eddie at this time? In 85? I have no idea.
Rudy Gonzalez with him, and Chavo Guerrero wins it here on Texas.
Those old ones are on Ring of Honor Plus now, like the 2002 and forward shit.
All-Star
I love
Wrestling.
those.
Chavo Guerrero, the
so
winner
much fun.
over Rudy Gonzalez. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the big Lone Star shootout. Bruiser Brody against the Maniac Mark Lewin, and Bruiser Brody is coming back. We want you to take another look at the man from Texas, Bruiser Brody. On the cameras and everywhere else, unable to control, as Brody and Abdullah the Butcher are still fighting right here.
It didn't used to be in the Honor Club. Like, the Honor Club started at the Sinclair era. It used to. I don't know if that's changed. Like, I know AEW shifted some stuff around because of Max. Maybe they added them in. I'm not sure. Tony Khan may also want to, like, distance himself from the Feinstein era of of Ring of Honor, maybe.
Brody and Abdullah the Butcher battling out to our left in amongst the crowd. Having a hard time with the young kids coming up on the stand. The fans began to yell, Bruiser, Bruiser. They're all over. They're just about to step on our equipment as Brody and Abdullah are still battling over here on the left.
He knows his Facebook posting. I think probably the best thing to do with ROH is at like the end of a wrestling show, just to watch a Ring of Honor and then just see if it gets taken down, or if they do something after the fact. But if we can watch them, I would be willing to track down even like the DVDs of those early shows for us to watch.
They're battling it out over here on the left. Now they're battling back towards the dressing rooms.
I was at a ton of the shows from that era. I went on like the entire Summer of Punk tour, except I missed the show where he lost the title. Like, I missed the payoff match.
They're just going to battle it completely out of the arena. I've lost them. There they are. I can't get this crowd out of the way. Very unruly. Well, earlier here today on Texas All-Star Wrestling, the Maniac went crazy. We're going to show you once again why Bruiser Brody is coming back to Texas to rid the state of the likes of the Maniac. So let's go back for a little earlier here today on Texas All-Star Wrestling and watch the Maniac in action.
TNA is probably the most, with the exception of WWE, most like strict about it. They've pulled down they've ended a stream like midstream before off the fact that I showed a Jeff Jarrett like in Memphis, part of the Memphis show that they clipped for like a Jeff Jarrett tribute on TNA. Like they'll even claim, not just claim, they'll like shut it down. Like TNA is ridiculous. Anthem.
Maniac has Henry Garcia. What's he going to do with it? Throw
Is
him
this
into
just
the
like
steel
a-
post. Oh, there goes Henry down again. Mark Lewin, he's the Maniac.
Why
You
are
don't
we
have to worry
seeing the
about that.
recap
People
again?
Lewin terrorizing the ring here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Bruiser.
Yeah, that's why we have this thing. They're awful, dude. They'll claim it over like nothing. And like ESPN and Disney and WWE will all claim anything that has like even a little bit of AWA footage. In a live stream, in a video, they would just claim they would just take the, monetization or whatever. But I have the bad luck of being a streamer, so like they'll just shut my stream down.
Brody is coming back, and if anybody can take care of the Maniac, it will be the big man, Bruiser Brody. That's the Lone Star Shootout. Bruiser Brody against the Maniac, Mark Lewin. Don't miss it. Time has expired here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Till next week. On behalf of everyone, this is Steve Stack saying so long from Texas.
Is that Don Bass? I mean, I agree. They just heavily protected. I wouldn't even really care. I don't even care at all if they claim the videos after the fact, but like, just let me do the live stream. Like, what's the possible harm here?
Welcome to Texas All-Star Wrestling. Steve Stack here ringside. We'll be going to the ring with Marty Martinez in our opening match.
Gone up by $120. Oh my god, dude. So this is not by my choice, it's just the playlist, but we're jumping forward to June 17th, 1985, and looking at each thing tells you like some of the people in the thing. There's definitely some people recognize here. Kim Duck.
In just a moment, Al Madrill is here with me now. All you see is his back. He's got a match scheduled here on Texas All-Star Wrestling today. Also exciting, Shawn Michaels is here, the American Force, the martial arts expert Kim Duck, Chavo Guerrero, and much, much more. And when I say much, much more, I'm speaking of 600-pound Voodoo Malumba. So stay tuned. The hour of excitement about to begin with Texas All-Star Wrestling. Al Madrill, you're smiling. It seems like everything seems to be going your way right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Stephen, I want to tell this to all these fans that are listening right now. You know, Armand Hussein, to me, has probably got to be one of the greatest minds in the wrestling today.
Somebody help me out if you're familiar with at all with the territory. This guy partnered with Dutch, right? I want to say,
because he brings in the likes of Voodoo Malumba. Because I told him I need a little,
What's up,
I have a
Cody
little
Turbo?
problem with this big fat Bluto Terminator. If he'd do me a favor, he brought in.
well, it's kind of bullshit that they're already. I didn't think they were supposed to, like, if it's in stock and it's already here. That sucks that they're already raising the price on like shit they didn't even have to pay a tariff on. That's not surprising though. Like when the tariffs go away, I think people imagine that like the prices will go back down. I don't think that's gonna happen, even if there is some miracle into this.
Voodoo Malumba. And now he also brought in the
This is 85.
greatest martial art wrestler of all time, Kim Duck. You people are going to see him very shortly and see what kind of wrestler
Kim
and how
Duck.
tough he is.
Well, what about you and Jose Lothario, huh?
You see this here? Eventually, Jose Lothario, myself, we're going to get together, just me and him. I don't want no outsiders. I don't want the Terminator. I don't want Chavo. I don't want nobody. I want to prove to these people who's tougher, Jose Lothario or Al Madrill.
Well, you know, Lothario was 9 times a Texas heavyweight champion, 5 times a brass knuckles champion.
I
Well,
agree,
Jose
Robot
Lothario
Block.
don't mean nothing to me, baby. The only thing he could box is oranges.
Well, ladies and
Wow,
gentlemen, now let's
box up
go
some
to our
oranges.
ring announcer, Marty Martinez, and the opening match.
This event, ladies and gentlemen, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing on my
Love this
right,
guy.
weighing in at 230 pounds from San Antonio, Texas, Dusty Woods.
Yes, Dusty Wolf.
His opponent weighing in at 280 pounds from
Dusty Wolf has a great book, by the way.
Korea. The Honorable Armand Hussein presents the Oriental Assassin, Kim Duck.
Kim Duck.
Well, here's the man you were telling me about. Now you're laughing already. That's a kendo stick that he has. He shouldn't even have it in the ring.
I'll tell you what, Steve, I told you earlier, this man is probably one of the greatest martial arts wrestlers of all time, baby. He knows them all. Karate, Kung Fu, Kendo, Aikido, Judo. He knows them all.
Now he
Oh,
goes
God,
through
Billy
the
Karate,
ceremony
Billy
that all
Graham.
the Oriental wrestlers go through. It's a ritual where they get these evil spirits out of the ring.
That's exactly what he does. I've known this man for years and years. He's probably one of the best wrestlers out of the Orient to come to the U.S.
Hey, he's taking on Dusty Woods. Dusty Woods backs off as
Oh, I'm
he
sorry. I thought he said Dusty Wolf.
had Kim Duck onto the rope. Look at Duck move. Hey, this guy's a big man, 270 pounds.
I tell you, he can out-wrestle. Tell me one thing, Steve. Where is this Dusty guy from?
Dusty Woods now makes his home in San Antonio.
Another San Antonio wrestler like Manuel Villalobos, like whoever else is from here. They're not even worth it.
Well, there's a little hair pulling there by Kim Duck.
See that duck? Kim Duck is making duck soup out of this guy.
Kim Duck holds on to the left arm. Well, Madrill, I know that Kim Duck has been around. He's been
Look
in
at the
professional
crowd.
wrestling about 15 years. You've been in the Orient with him. You've seen him in other parts of the world. Very, very vicious.
That's very true.
Why do you think?
Wrestling has left people like this behind. Like, there's no way that like the normal wrestling fan who used to go to shows back in this day, like if you told them how much it cost to go to like a show with some names on it now, like they'd shit.
I think that Armand Hussein has gone out and brought him to Texas All-Star Wrestling.
You see, Armand Hussein is my type of man, only because I told Armand, you know what,
Tojo.
I'm having a little bit of trouble with this fat porker Terminator. I said, can you help me
Did he just call the Terminator a fat porker?
out? And he said, Al, don't you remember when you and Big Voodoo were a team? And I said, oh, yeah. So he got a hold of Voodoo.
What a difference having someone interesting on commentary does. Like, it changes the entire show to me.
And here he is. You know, I have to be honest with you, Steve. I had a little bit of a worry about the Terminator. But now that the Voodoo Man is here, I have no problem.
And then Kim Duck, too, so that makes it a little more secure, I can tell. Oh, what a big chop there. He's very skilled in all the martial arts. You know, all the Oriental wrestlers are that way. They learn all those from the small age where our kids learn to play softball, baseball, and football. They learn the martial art.
That's right. You know, Kim Duck doesn't speak too much English, but Armand Hussein, he speaks German, he speaks French, he speaks African, he speaks Chinese, he speaks all the languages. And I talked to Duck a little bit earlier, and he said that he was a little kid, about 5 years old, and he went to school, he learned the martial arts, and he hasn't stopped yet. And he's still learning. He said he's one of the masters for about 10 years, Steve. This man was all-Asian champion.
The promo battle between the Japanese contingent and what's it? Jerry Jarrett's like little group was so good. Those back and forths were crazy. Jerry Jarrett actually cut some pretty fire promos during that time too. He was keeping up with Tojo for a little while.
Kim Duck choking as a referee is over talking to Armand Hussein.
Oh, now see, there you go again.
Looks like they told him on the way out to the ring just to throw a chop.
A Japanese sleeper, and right away you call it a choke. What kind of man are you, Steve Stack?
Kim Duck reaches down, has the hair of Dusty Woods. Oh, there's that big back kick. They use the feet a lot.
That's right. He knows all these kicks, whether it's front kick or back
That
kick
guy's
or roundhouse.
really mad about it.
Kim Duck knows all this. Now you watch this. Here comes a good chop, I'm sure.
You've seen him in the ring before. Just bad enough when you're that big getting a chop, and then when you go up on that second rope and come diving down there with a chop.
Well, you know what?
There's a whistle. Now you see, when the whistle blows, I still say it's a signal.
Well, can I tell you? You know, I'll tell you what, these so-called big-time wrestlers here from San Antonio ain't so hot.
Do you think Kim Duck is related to that guy from 16 Candles, Long Duck?
You know, I mean, last week, this big Shawn Michaels made his big whoopie-doo debut here, and everybody went crazy. I didn't go crazy. He interferes in my match. Now, what kind of man is that?
Well, we're going to see Shawn Michaels a little later on. We're going to show him what you're talking about, interference. Also, Voodoo Malumba's here today. Back into the ring, Dusty Woods burying that shoulder into the midsection of Kim Duck. But
What's
Duck,
up,
you
Mike?
can see, come out of there very strong. Puts Dusty Woods in the corner. Oh, what a forearm.
And later on in this program, Steve, tell the fans who Big Al's gonna wrestle, baby.
Big Al Madrill. Oh, what a flip from Dusty Woods. Wait a minute, Dusty Woods may have him. Nope.
Never happened, baby.
Speaking of Chuck Norris, I'm picking up, we can pick out at some at the library, but I've got Being Held, all 3 Missing in Action movies.
Here comes Wood. There's a clothesline. Kim Duck
Long
caught
Duck
him
Dong.
bouncing off that ropes. Now, Kim Duck, what's he going to do with him?
Remember he gets with that, like, big Viking-looking woman? What does he say? Like, what does he call her? New fashion or new fashion American girlfriend or something like that?
Gonna whip him into the ropes again. Oh, what a
You
kick.
see that beautiful kick? That's all for Dusty. He's finished now. I know he is.
I agree. I think it's changed. The entire show is a million times better with Al Madrill on commentary.
Because
That was a knockout kick.
This is his favorite move.
Here he goes. That looked like it may have been karate to me. That was very close. There's a count. 1, 2, 3, and Kim Duck comes up with a victory here on Texas All-Star Right now. Now he takes this.
I don't think I did reviews for any of them, video reviews. I wrote reviews for my website, but I'm trying to get all the canon movies up on, like, get video reviews of them done.
Stick. Now he takes the stick. The kendo stick he is using on Dusty Woods. The match is already over. I thought he used karate to win the match in the first place.
Oh, I didn't buy it. I just had them order it in from me from some other. There was we didn't have it at the library here, but you can they'll send you shit from other libraries.
Referee is asking for the bell again. He's reversing the decision. No, what? No, that's for punishing the wrestler.
I wonder if whoever had to pull that off the shelf at whatever library was missing in action. Hell yeah. Or if they were what a dork.
After he'd already won. So it's going to be Dusty Woods a winner, even though he is getting beat up awful bad.
You'd really, if you're the kind of person who likes to judge what other people watch or read, being a librarian would be a perfect job. You'd see everything everybody reads and watches.
Dusty Woods really looks like a winner to me, Steve.
Yeah, we've got like a really good share system too, where like you don't even have to go through the steps of the ILL, but it doesn't extend to every library in our state, so there's like a limit. So then like ILL past that is still free, but it's kind of a hassle. But then if you want to do like past that, you have to pay $5 per item, but they'll bring it in from like anywhere in the United States. It's pretty crazy.
There it is.
Well, for now, I don't know what's going to be like in the future.
Kim Duck continues to punish Dusty Woods, a reversal on
The Last Starfighter.
a decision. Dusty the Woods, the winner on a disqualification. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll be back with another match here on Texas All-Star. Well, pretty boy Paul Kelly is here. We'll be talking to him in just a moment. But ladies and gentlemen, this past Sunday night at the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, Rick McCord defended his USA Junior Heavyweight against pretty boy Paul Kelly. It had to be one of the toughest matches I've ever seen for the USA Junior Heavyweight title, and we happen to have some videotape of that match. So let's pick up the action at the Freeman Coliseum. Does he get the victory this time? No, as once again it was just a
Miller
two-count.
Lite thing.
Rick McCord, the USA Junior Heavyweight champion, defending that title, has Kelly down for another two-count. Al McCord, the champion, really pouring it on at this point of the match. Here's McCord, bouncing off the rope. Shoulder tackle knocks Paul Kelly down. Here comes McCord again. Oh, right into the referee. Right into the referee, Fred Sinclair. He rolls out onto the timekeeper's table. Kelly has come out of the ring. What's Kelly doing? Oh, he's reached out and he grabbed the chair. Like to knock John Martinez down as Martinez was sitting in that chair. Here comes Kelly. Oh, right to the head of Rick McCord. That's it. McCord is out cold. The referee is still shaking it off. He has made it his way up onto the apron and trying to crawl in. Kelly with the knee now across the head of Rick McCord. There's another knee.
The Boy Tony character in Texas, I mean, that'd be interesting. This crowd, though, to be fair, is pretty, for the most part, docile, it seems like.
Referee Fred Sinclair's made it back into the ring. Kelly is over talking to Fred Sinclair. Kelly going back to McCord, and there's that reverse neck breaker. It's won a lot of matches.
The chair shot, to me, the reason it was good was because it looked like he was trying to hit him enough to win the match, but not to kill him. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird whenever they go, like, full shotgun blast, and it's like, you know what I mean? I just think it looks better. He didn't hit him as hard as he could, but, like, he hit him, it looked solid enough to where it could get the pinfall, but not, you know, not be facing criminal charges after the match.
Matches for Paul Kelly, and it may just win him. Oh, the referee counts one, and now he's asking for the bell. The referee counted one, and then he turned around to the timekeeper and asked for the bell. Kelly is up. Did he win the title? No, the referee puts his hand down. He raises the hand of Rick McCord. What a strange turn of events there. Kelly thought he had won. Referee is told the ring announcer that it's a disqualification. Kelly disqualified for using the chair.
No.
Kelly has come.
I think Bruce Pritchard was in Houston, Paul Bosch's territory. This is San Antonio.
Come outside the ring, and he has taken the USA Junior Heavyweight Championship belt. It doesn't belong to him. Well, we've intercepted Rick McCord on the way back to the dressing room. Rick, I thought you were out cold when he hit you with that chair.
I don't know what happened. Hit me with the chair. I went out like a light. Paul Kelly, let me tell you something. You think the war's over? It's just beginning. I promise you one thing. It's no longer a title match. This is all-out war. Paul Kelly, pretty boy, you're going to pay with everything you got.
Well, the chair did a lot of damage to...
Don't worry about the chair. Rick McCord, he almost looked good. He almost looked good. Not as good as a pretty boy, mind you. Not as good. But that red
The San
was so
Antonio screw
becoming
job.
on his face. It almost made him look handsome. What I want to know is how come, Steve, when I came back, they said I had to give the title back. Why? I'll tell you why. Because when I'm in the ring, and I'm fighting a champion. To me, the winner of the championship match is the guy that's standing when the battle is over. I was standing, and he was laying out. So I've gone to the promoters, and I said, hey, man, I need a no DQ match where I can do anything I want to and do it my way. Rick McCord, oh, man, they say it's easier the second time around, but not.
What's his name's gonna come out and tell him that he's got a match. If he wants a no holds barred match tonight, he can have one against the Undertaker.
With me, baby, not with me. He's gonna be red all over his body this time.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The pretty boy Paul Kelly looking forward to another match with Rick McCord in the USA Junior Heavyweight title. Stay tuned because we'll be back with another exciting match right after this.
Yeah, it's bilingual. I think I kind of like it because it's so chaotic, and that guy is not great anyway. Sam Stack or whatever, Robert's brother. It just seems like during the promos, everyone talks at the same time. It's with these long delays.
This event, ladies and gentlemen, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing to my right, weighing in at 205 pounds from San Antonio, Texas,
Lalo.
John Guzman. From Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 235 pounds, El Madril.
Well, El Madril has left the mic here, and he is going into the ring to meet
Look at Al Madril. What a
John
pro,
Guzman
man.
from San Antonio.
Dude, Al Madril in the ring is like light years beyond most of the people that are here. Like, he just gets it.
And coming up to take Al's place, and I'd much rather have him up here, it's Bubba the Terminator.
Hey, thanks, Steve. I'm glad to be here tonight, and
Bubba the Terminator.
I'm real interested to see how you'll fare out in this match here.
Well, Terminator, Al Madril has got nothing nice to say about anybody, and here we're watching him in the ring against Guzman. You know, Al Madril's going to have his hands full. He's going to be meeting Jose Lothario in some single battle matches, you know, and anytime you meet Jose, it's always a tough fight.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Jose's got a good boxing experience, and plus his many years as a wrestler. But although Al is a very formidable foe, you know, he's a very knowledgeable wrestler. He's got a lot of experience, you know, and plus the fact that there is a little bit of illegalness about him.
Well, Al Madril very, very smartly prances around the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Look at the
Here's the set out
difference
here.
between these
Guzman
two
tries
guys.
to set out. Madril goes right with him, puts a forearm across the chest. Now Madril grabs him by the head. Oh, he popped him right
Look
on.
at that.
Down goes Guzman as Madril. Now you see Madril using those fists. Like you said earlier, he better look out because Jose's been a boxer.
Just Buck Robley.
You know, Jose not only has been a boxer, as Madril pounds Guzman's head into the television stand, camera stand. Jose was a brass knuckles champion in Texas for 5 times. And I mean, you got to be tough.
Oh, yeah, but you never know. This guy Madril's, like I say, he's very formal. You never know what he's going to do, or you never know what trick he's got up his sleeve.
Well, Madril reaches down, grabs the arm of Guzman. Also, Jose was 9-time Texas heavyweight champion. And what can you say about Jose? If Madril wants to get in there and fight with a fist, Jose would take him. If Madril wants to put a boxing glove on that fist, a tape on that fist, I'm sure Jose would be glad to go along with him.
I tell you, Al doesn't know what he's got himself in for. I mean, you know, going in there, he's on Jose's turf, so to speak, you know. I mean, he's getting mixed up in something he may regret.
Well, Madril right now just about handling Guzman any way he wants to. I think Madril is just out here warming up a little bit, hoping that Jose Lothario might be watching so that Jose will know what Madril is capable of. I think he already knows that.
Oh, yeah, but this man here is a whole different. You're complaining. You're comparing two different individuals. You know, Jose, a man of experience, years, a larger man, and plus all the stuff that he has under his belt. You know, as far as wrestling ability and the boxing ability, he was Golden Gloves champ. He's an excellent boxer, as you say. He was a brass knuckles champ for many years. The man's just a very capable man.
Well, Madrill has taken Guzman, got him out of the ring. Now here goes Madrill out after him.
Look at that guy. He doesn't want to go around
him.
him. Was that the security
and then
guy?
He pops one on the head.
He's security.
You're watching Texas All-Star Wrestling from the Wrestlathon in San Antonio, Texas, where we are every Monday night. And our new summer starting time is 8 o'clock. So come on out. We'd like to see you, and you'll see the Terminators.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. I'd like to see all those little kids coming out. The people here have been so good to me. You know, since of all the stuff all the problems I've had and that stuff, and I mean, you know, it's just been so wonderful. It really makes me feel good. You know, this is like a second home to me. You know, it made me feel so wonderful.
Now Madrill, I believe, is claiming that Guzman might have used the hair. Madrill doesn't like it.
Wow, is the crowd alive for the first time so far for Al Madrill?
No matter who puts him down, he always says that they did something illegal. But that was a good move there from Guzman. Here he goes for a leg down. Step inside toe hold.
Oh, look at that. The guy, this young wrestler's very, very good. Very knowledgeable.
And, of course, every time you get into the ring, you learn something new.
Oh, definitely, definitely. You know, I've been working real hard with Jose Lothario. You know, he's teaching me a whole lot. I've learned a whole lot of new moves. I'm working real hard, lifting heavy, you know, and I think it's going to really help me in these future matches.
Guzman still holding on to the leg of El Madrill. Oh, Madrill kicks him off. Madrill going up with forearms across the chest. There's another one across the chest and another one. And Guzman is learning what it's like to meet a professional in the ring like El Madrill, who throws the record book out the window.
Oh, yeah. When Al's in the ring, definitely can throw all the books out the window.
When Al Madrill's in the ring, he throws the record book out the window.
Because he's there to win. He's a tough competitor. He'll do anything that he can to get that win. You know, there's nothing that you can get away with as far as he's concerned. You know, he's very tough.
Well, Guzman turns it around. He slams Madrill's head into that turnbuckle, takes him across the ring. There's some flying block.
Yeah, that's it.
Guzman knocks Madrill out of the ring. The people love it.
Oh yeah, when the shoe's on the other foot, Al's on the outside. They're crying the blues. But now, you know, it seems like he gets a taste of his own medicine.
Well, Madrill once again claiming a little hair pulling as the referee Fred Sinclair tries to get him into the ring, and here he...
Those women in the front row don't want to be too rude to Al in case they can't get the baby face they're looking for.
comes.
Oh yeah.
Well, the Terminator here with us, all 405 pounds, as Guzman lays a couple on the jaw. There he goes with another one. The referee steps in between. Oh, Madrill punched him. Madrill sucker punched him. He knocked him out. That was a sucker punch from El Madrill, no doubt about that.
Wow.
Well, like I say, you know, that man will do anything to get a win, you know, and I mean, it doesn't take a minute for something like that.
That was like Hogan's Sting. That was such a weird finish.
Well, there.
I actually like the finish where the guy hits a bunch of punches on him and then he hits one sucker punch and knocks him out, but like the kick out was really weird there.
You have it, ladies and gentlemen. El Madrill with a sucker punch has knocked out Guzman. The referee was blocked out of the way. El Madrill wins it. Stay tuned because we'll be back with another match right after this.
Boom! Nice. Good.
This event, ladies and gentlemen, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing on my left.
Yeah, and honestly, like, Al Madrill obviously is there. His character here is that he has like some legit toughness, but he also has like some chicken shit heel stuff. So it doesn't hurt him to give a little bit to Guzman, but then like also I think like the he did it because like what you're saying, that the crowd got into it, and so I'm sure that made him want to, you know, it would give him some heat to pick on him and then make the crowd happy even though he was going to win the match. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think you are right that was like they read the crowd and altered the match a little bit. Well, took the match and maybe it gave him more offense than he would have ordinarily.
Weighing in at 250 pounds from Missouri, Ken Johnson.
Oh, Ken Johnson. Oh, here he is, guys.
Weighing in at 230 pounds from San Antonio, Texas, Shawn Michaels.
Michaels is back here on Texas All-Star Wrestling now as he goes up against Ken Johnson. Michaels hooks up with Johnson. Now Johnson with the arm bar and reverse, and Michaels reverses that.
Here I am, Steve. I know you asked for it. The people asked for it, and here I am.
Well, you're back again. Yeah, I don't think the only thing the people were asking for, El Madrill, was Jose Lothario.
Oh, Madrill's back out too.
That was a sucker punch you threw at that young kid.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Now, you don't think to tell me if that was Jose Lothario, you wouldn't do the same thing?
I don't think so. Look at Shawn Michaels. What moves we're getting in the ring from him. Michaels holds onto the head of Ken Johnson here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Did you see how easy that was? I wish I was Lothario. If it was Lothario, I did the same thing. I'd have knocked him out, too. I can't wait for that match.
You're pretty smart because you had the referee come in between. You had him blocked out, then you just reached up and sucker punched him. You know, I know you do a lot of things, but, oh, well, what can I say?
Hey, in love and war, all is fair, Steve. And if you can't handle it in this business, you must get out of it. This is the tough man's business, baby. And you can ask Jose Lothario, Chavo Guerrero, or anybody.
Oh, a cross body block. Oh, I thought Michaels had him.
Yeah, you see him holding onto the trunks there, Steve?
I don't think he was holding on to the trunk.
From what I picked up earlier, which I can't attest to it, but from what the announcers, or I think maybe one of the heels had actually brought it up, is that he had debuted the week before this, which I don't have access to. It's probably on YouTube, but it's not on this playlist. So we might be seeing like the second ever TV match of Shawn Michaels.
A little later on, ladies and gentlemen, Voodoo Malumba will be here. Also, the American Force will be out there, the Texas Tag Team Champion. And coming up in the next match, a man we haven't seen.
So that would mean like Michaels got his territory start about a year before Jeff Jarrett. That's kind of interesting.
In a while here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, Vinny Valentino.
Vinny Valentino.
Rudolph what?
No, Vinny Valentino.
Oh, Vinny Valentino. Wow. What is this, from the Great Country? Is that where he's from?
Michaels grabs the leg of Ken Johnson. There's a spin him around and a drop kick. Going to the side headlock. Shawn Michaels, San Antonio, Texas, San Antonio Road.
What am I supposed to be impressed? I don't even like the song.
Well, I know there's a nice backdrop by Ken Johnson. I know you're a country music lover, Madrill, so don't tell me you don't know who Bob Wills was.
Sure I do. I'm sure you know who he is. You were about the same age as he was.
It looks rough, though.
Slam by Ken Johnson. Elbow by Ken Johnson.
I think you wrote that song, didn't you, Stack?
I may have. They exchange blows.
Vinny Valentino, I'll tell you what, we ought to take up a collection for that guy and buy him a pair of boots. You don't even have any boots.
Take up a collection
Michaels
for
finds
him.
a knee in the midsection.
Now look at that beautiful elbow smash.
On the ropes is Johnson. Here he comes. Has that fist doubled up into the back of Shawn Michaels.
Look at real exciting Shawn Michaels. Not too exciting now, is he?
Michaels gets backflipped as Johnson got a shoulder in there, buried it in the midsection, flipped him over. Johnson reaching for a slam.
He has a good shot,
backbreaker.
You see that? What did I tell you? You can't sell this Johnson guy short. He knows a few tricks himself.
You can't sell this Johnson short.
The exchange blows are directly in front of us here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. They're backing into the corner. Michaels in the corner. Ken Johnson in front. Johnson grabs him by the arm. Whips him all the way across the ring. In goes Johnson.
Oh, no.
Michaels moved out of the way. Johnson buries the shoulder into the steel post that holds up the corner over there.
I'll tell you what, look at that. Look at that young kid, Michaels, huffing and a puffing. You know, if he wants to get in the major leagues with Chavo Guerrero and myself, he's be able to wrestle all night long, baby, because I'll wrestle. I don't care how long it takes to defeat my opponent.
Here he is. He's up on the middle rope. He's pounding the head of Ken Johnson. Oh, he's going up on the top rope. On the top rope, there's a fist. There's a flip. He's up. He catches Johnson. He backflips him. Drop kicks him. Drop kicks him again. Oh, this Shawn Michaels is really exciting. As they man, there's that power slam. It should be all over. 1, 2, 3, and it is. It's all over.
I mean, pretty interesting, right? To see that. I've never seen a match like this early from Shawn Michaels. Definitely his look is a lot different. Like he gets so much like leaner over time. But I mean, honestly, like if you compare this to where Jeff Jarrett was in his second match, I think Shawn's not looking too bad.
Michaels flipping off that rope, coming up with some great moves.
Power slam.
And Shawn Michaels wins another one here on Texas All-Star.
Whenever Johnson wins a match, he presents the person with their choice of a homemade cassette tape holder or birdhouse.
Wrestling as he defeats Ken Johnson. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the match for the next ring, we're going to talk to Al Madril.
Look, I don't want to talk to you because you don't understand English. I want to talk to this man here. Okay, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, wow. Al Madril telling the Spanish announce guy that he doesn't want to talk to him because he doesn't speak English.
That's great, yeah, but he interfered in my match and Chavo Guerrero's match. Now, Chavo Guerrero's isn't going to be in the ring right now, so Shawn Michaels, you get back there and watch that monitor, and you see a genius at work here, baby, and then we'll see how tough you are. He has no business getting involved in our business.
Yeah, we're going to show the people what you're talking about a little while from now, but right now, let's join our ring announcer.
Man, this show is so chaotic in the production of it. It's starting to grow on me now that we have like a real, like in my opinion, a talent you can build around, like Al Madril. Yeah, the Lothario thing is real. They just worked it into the Boyhood Dream storyline because it was such a perfect like dovetail. For some reason, when I went in to get a new drink, I like got really angry, thinking I don't know why I thought about it. I was like, why didn't Shelton Benjamin ever get the WWE title? That always made me so mad. I'm heated now. Sour banana sherbet. But I think I've kind of hit my limit with it for today. I'm switching to more of the guava now and later. It's actually on sale at the dispensary. I should just go get two more. I should just get 2 more eighths of that. Fantastic. If you're a heel, why should you have to back up anything? Like you shouldn't. You should be immune to embarrassment of not being able to provide it. He was thinking of Mongoose, but like in his wrestler brain, he couldn't figure it out. I love how he says it. Well, because there wasn't a lot of personality in the episode before this one. But like, man, I have never like been won over by a wrestler as quickly as I am with Al Madril. I keep thinking this is a giant hat back here, but I don't know what it is. Is that another human, a large human being with like a stripe? Gave you the creeps. Have you ever seen that movie called, oh my God, what's the name of it? I forget what it's called, but it's got Klaus Kinski in it, is the main character. And basically it's a bunch of criminals trapped inside of a house with a poisonous snake. I can't remember what the name of it is though, but it was a real snake, I think, for a lot of it. I mean, the 70s were a really interesting time. People were willing to do a lot for art back then. But I don't remember, honestly, what they used in the prosthetic scenes. It's been, oh God, I think Blue Underground brought it out on DVD like 15 years ago, probably. It's been forever. I thought it was from the 70s. It's not. It's from 1981. It's called Venom, Venom. It's got Sterling Hayden, Klaus Kinski, Oliver Reed, and are you ready for this? Susan George. Oh my God, Susan George. So it's a kidnapping that goes wrong. And there's a mix-up at a pet shop while they're doing like a kidnapping / home invasion. And instead of getting the pet they're supposed to get like just a regular little like garter snake. And instead they get a deadly black mamba snake. And so now the police are on the way. All the criminals are trapped in the house with the black mamba. I do make sure to point out the fact this is from my review, that Susan George fans will be let down because she does not take her clothes off in this movie. I said in the review that there's not a lot of like cheesiness in it, that it's taken like pretty much completely seriously. Oh no, what happened? Oh my God, hold on a minute. Oh my gosh. Well, let me come back up if we do this, maybe. Can anybody see this? Oh my gosh, come on. Hey, I can't tell if I'm up or not. It's showing online that I'm not. Okay, can you guys see me? Can you hear me? I can see the stream, but I can't access the chat for some reason. Okay, hang on. I'm going to try to get this figured out. Did the stream go down again?
From the Portland Sports.
Oh my God, what is going on here? Hang on, hang on. Down again. Come on, brother. Let's see if we can find Sanctuary and Savvy Guy. What a disaster. Hang on a second. If you can see me, hang on a second. I'm working it out on my end. Oh, come on. Okay, am I back now? Okay. Well, sorry, I don't know what that's about. At least it looks like we're back up. What do you want to do here? It looks like whatever we do whatever we do wrestling is going to get hit. Let me see what I got in my let me see what I got in my likes. Dude, it took the Portland stream down in like 2 seconds, unless that was like unrelated. Okay, let's hold on a second. Let's see if we can get another stream removal. Oh shit, I dropped my nug. Hey, Get Crack. Well, I don't know what to do about the wrestling thing. Let's watch this show and see if we can keep this up. Since we're on a string anyway, let's see what
Coming
happens.
up next on today's episode of Eye for an Eye.
Yeah, so what's an accountant doing outside at a strip joint slashing another person's tires? Didn't you know that's a criminal offense?
Not if they're my tires.
Yes, you did. I kissed him. That was
You
it.
told me that you weren't even into guys anymore, and then what? Is it your ex-boyfriend or what?
An ex. Did you give him any chance to explain that in the first place? We probably
And how do you know the plaintiff did it?
Because I have the tape from the surveillance camera at my job last night.
One more word out of you, and I'm going to ask him to step in.
In the court system, justice is not always just.
So once this stream is over and it processes, then I'll be able to see what happened with the copyright, and maybe there's something we can do to get around it if we want to go back to Texas again.
That's why they bring their disputes here. Real people, real problems, real revenge.
ZXV though is operating on a different. He premieres them, but he doesn't like lie. His are all just videos. They're like, I could post a video of me critiquing a WCW match and it would probably be left up, but it would be copyright claimed. Like live streams are handled differently for some companies.
Justice is eye for an eye.
Hey, it's me, Kato Kalin, and welcome to another episode of Eye for an Eye.
Oh, wow.
On today's
Kato
episode,
Kalin.
you'll meet two star-crossed lovers who do battle over bills after a relationship gone bad. And if you think this is just another case of he said, she said, think again.
I am suing her for her share of the bills and the rent. And I'm also suing her for the money that I spent on brand new tires for her truck.
The tires were a gift. I don't know why she's asking me to pay her back for the tires. It was her idea to buy me tires. She wanted to buy me tires.
When we moved in together, she did say to me that she would pay me, you know, for half of the bills and the rent.
I don't owe her for the bills. She wanted me to move in with her. She wanted me to live with her. She never said pay half the rent.
I think Extreme Akeem is fair.
I don't even remember this show, let alone like that Kato Kalin was on a show like this.
And I think that justice will be served, and I think I'll leave very, very happy.
I have some evidence of my own she doesn't even know about. It's gonna hit her really hard.
This is the case of she...
I was thinking though, get cracked, that there probably are some things like maybe that would throw it off. Like I came up with this like, let me see. I have like the Boit Watch overlays that I use sometimes. I had one that's like an old style TV, but I don't know what I did with it. But yeah, if I had it other things take up more space on the screen, I could probably evade it a little bit better.
She said. You've heard what the plaintiff and the defendant had to say. Now, let's see what the judge has to say. Let's watch.
All rise for the Honorable Extreme Akeem.
Extreme Akeem. Do you guys remember this show?
Ms. McIntyre, I've read your complaint. You're suing for $1,273 for unpaid
Extreme
utilities and
Akeem?
unpaid rent, and also for $471.58 for tires that you gave Miss Lewis. Now, you're the plaintiff in this case, so I'm going to ask you to speak first and tell me a little bit about the bills you're requesting that I reimburse you for.
Your Honor, these bills cover the last 3-month period. We were living together, and she agreed to pay me for half of these bills.
When did I agree?
Wait 1 second, Ms. Lewis. Do you have those bills? Sugar Ray, can you get
Sugar
those bills
Ray?
to me, please?
What? What?
Okay, let the record reflect that I've received $1,273 worth of unpaid utilities and rent, and also a bill for $471.58 for some tires paid.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Lewis, she's saying that you owe her this money, that you lived with her for 3 months, and you haven't reimbursed her for these bills. Why haven't you reimbursed her?
I never agreed to pay the bills in the first place.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
When? When did I agree to pay bills?
Right in the very beginning when we first moved in together, you said that you would eventually help me. You know you said it.
I did not, Your Honor. I never agreed to pay
You
bills.
are such a liar.
Hey, whoa. Ma'am, were you raised in a barn? This is a place you've got to keep your language civil. Okay, let me ask Miss Lewis. Miss Lewis, did you enter into any written contract with the plaintiff to find out?
Akeem?
Okay.
No, sir.
Whatever.
Ms. McIntyre, was this an oral contract that you're saying that
Yes,
you agreed
Your Honor,
with?
we absolutely had an oral contract. She was going to pay me. She didn't have any money at first, and I was being very nice. I took her under my wing. I said, it's okay if it's a little bit late, but, you know, I expected to get it, you know, in the end.
Okay. And Miss Lewis, how long were you living with Miss McIntyre? And was it you were roommates with her?
We were not roommates. I was living with her for
What do you mean you weren't
about
roommates?
3 months.
You were living with her. What do you mean you weren't roommates?
We were lovers.
Lovers?
Oh, here we go. Spicing things up. I like the little cages they're in.
This was not a roommate situation.
Okay. And
This was not a roommate situation. This wasn't let's live together and split the rent.
how long were you
boy.
lovers?
About 3 months.
And how did you meet Miss McIntyre?
She came in to the club that I work,
Okay, and what club did you work at?
the Pussycat Lounge.
Pussycat. What kind of establishment is the Pussycat Lounge?
It's a topless bar.
And were you a waitress or were you?
I was a dancer.
You were a dancer.
I met her there. She came in the club that night. We met and established a relationship.
Let me
we
ask you,
went
Miss
home-
Mac. Let me ask you something. What did you expect? You took home a stripper for a lover. What did you expect? Of course she's going to ask for a free ride.
Well, it was a little
You
more
think these
than that.
might be actors?
And it's my understanding that you have some other exhibit, Miss McIntyre, you wanted to present to the court?
Yes.
Okay, and please hand it over to Big Sugar Ray.
I think this little piece of evidence will explain just what a whore she really is.
Hey!
You see this man? This is the former middleweight boxing champion of the world.
Yeah. He's gonna knock you out, is what he's saying.
And he's here to keep people like you in
Screen
line
canvas.
in this place. So one more word out of you, and I'm going to ask him to step in. Miss Lewis, obviously you weren't being faithful to Miss McIntyre.
Yeah,
There's a
Your
picture
Honor,
here of
that-
you with the man kissing. Was this outside of your strip joint?
Yes, but like I said, she never gave me a chance to explain. I mean, it was really nothing.
Didn't know I had those pictures, did you?
Well, let me ask you something. Was
Poor
her name on
pictures.
any lease?
No, Your Honor, but we did have an oral agreement.
Okay, did you put her on any utility bills?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And did you promise to pay her the amount?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
I understand just this morning, the defendant in this case, Miss Lewis, that she amended her answer to include a counterclaim for damages against the plaintiff. What's this damages for?
For slashing the tires on my car.
And when did this take place?
Last night when I was at work.
The night before this hearing, you're
Yes,
saying
I
the
almost
plaintiff
didn't get
slashed
here
your tires?
today.
And how do you
are
know the plaintiff did it?
unbelievable. Because I have the tape from the surveillance camera at my job last night.
Damn, surprise evidence.
A picture's worth 1,000 words. I got to.
This is everything Keemstar wished Lolcow Court could have been.
See this tape. Hand it to Big Sugar Ray.
Coming up next.
Let me ask you something. What's an accountant doing outside at a strip joint slashing another person's tires? Didn't you know that's a criminal offense?
Not if they're my tires.
Yes, you did. Kissed him. That was
You
it.
told me that you weren't even into guys anymore, and then what? Is this your ex-boyfriend or what?
An ex. Had you given me any chance to explain that in the first place?
Honey, what you got to say for yourself?
Okay, all right, fine, I did it.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that one, and then I remember another show he had too that was a little more like general like daytime talk show vibes.
You're watching Eye for an Eye.
What's this damages for?
Didn't we watch one time during one of the getting high and watching daytime talk shows?
For slashing the tires on my car.
And how do you
are
know the plaintiff did it?
unbelievable. Because I have the tape from the surveillance camera at my job last night.
One more word out of you, and I'm going to ask him to step in.
Eye for an Eye. Real people,
Did you
real
see his
problems.
face?
Sugar Ray, roll the tape.
Extreme Akeem. Look at that TV, guys. busted.
That isn't me.
Get the fuck out. Everybody
It's
can
not
see
me.
that's you.
No, it isn't.
This is so you.
You can't even see her face.
That was me. Uh-oh.
I've seen enough. Sugar, I've seen enough.
That isn't me. That isn't me. You can't even see my face.
That could have been anyone's ass.
What do you people think?
Can you imagine you're in a case for like any kind of court and the judge is asking the like viewers what they think?
Honey, what you got to say for yourself?
Okay, all right, fine. I did it.
Duh.
But you know why I did it? Because I bought those tires.
Ananje, you know what the craziest thing about this is to me is I had never heard of this show when I love this show already. But like there's 4 seasons of it. So it's not like it just showed up for like as a filler and then went away. Like this was around for 4 years.
They're mine to slash if I want to slash it.
Ma'am, you got your hands caught in the cookie
Well,
jar.
you never paid me a dime,
shit.
so they were a gift. Just shut up.
Let me ask you something. What's an accountant doing outside at a strip joint slashing another person's
Sugar Ray
tires? Didn't you know
Robinson.
that's a criminal offense?
Not if they're my tires.
You gave the tires to this woman, to Miss Lewis.
Yeah, but she was in the parking lot just a few days ago, practically having sex with some guy in the parking lot. Yes, you did.
I kissed him. That was
You
it.
told me that you weren't even into guys anymore, and then what? Is it your ex-boyfriend or what?
An ex? Had you given me the chance to explain that in the first place, we probably wouldn't be here.
Well-
so you had to embarrass me and embarrass yourself.
I know what's going
when
on
is
here.
this gonna stop?
I'm going
You
to render my
just used me
decision
from
in
the
a moment.
beginning.
I know what's going on.
I know what's going on here.
Girls. No more fighting, okay? Someone's being used here. Are you really in love? I don't know. I saw the case like you guys saw the case, too, because you watched it right on the monitor, and you have a chance now to ask the defendant and the plaintiff some questions.
Tony Yeoman as a judge. What's up with it, everybody? Let me tell you about the case I got for you today. I got a murder. I got 2 burglaries, assault and battery, and 2 motherfucking peppers on the side.
Go to this gentleman here. Has this case kind of bothered you?
Well, my question's for the plaintiff. Were you really in love with her?
Yes.
Interesting. That's sort of where I was going with that.
Yeah, I mean, same, Ananje. I feel like I should have even run into this by now looking up stuff to watch on stream, you know? But it just like came up out of nowhere last night.
And, oh, look, we're both wearing pink. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
What's your question?
Well, I have to ask the defendant, were you in love with her?
I was in love with her.
Right, I guess a tit for a tat, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're really in love. I mean, what do you think? Do you think they're really in love?
Well, Tony got the $300 cash app for making the video where he drank the water and swished it around and then spit it out and then said a bunch of slurs. That was his $300 cash app video. He gets good views though. He's like consistently like 1,500 to 2,000. And his live stream was like had like almost about 100 viewers probably, but like incredibly active and like overwhelmingly positive chat.
In love?
It's hard to believe.
Hard to believe they're really in love, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so that's your opinion on that. And what's your opinion of same-sex relationships, and why are you holding me so tight?
Come on, Kate.
I was kidding.
I mean, you know, to each his own, but I mean, slashing the tires is a little extreme.
I agree with that. Slashing the tires was a little bit too much.
How do you feel about same-sex
what?
relationships?
Oh, you had something to say? Well, get over here. You got to help me out here, my friend. You're hiding over here.
To me, there's a lot of anger flowing around this room. I say we put them together in a cage and see what comes out.
Oh, how am I ticket to that?
Put 'em in the
Pay-per-view, we
cage.
might have a new special. Hey, speaking of special
Lemon Thunder.
people, Judge Extreme Akeem has got to make a decision. Are you guys waiting for it? Let's go, Akeem. Get out here.
All rise.
Extreme McKean. There's no way. There's literally no way this is a real show. This is like the AI populating these video services with like fake old shows. There's just no way this show existed with a guy named Extreme Akeem and Kato Kalin, and they were interviewing like people outside of the courtroom were able to ask questions like live into the people on the show, and I never even heard of it. Come on. Hey, Bob Brown.
You may be seated.
Bob, if you're wondering about the title, we got shut down 2 different times for copyright on wrestling, so I switched to courtroom shows.
Miss McIntyre, the way I look at it is Miss Lewis has no legal obligation to pay you anything. Her name was not on the lease. Her name was not on the utility bills. You get 0.
Oh, 0.
Now, as far as you go, I could award you the $471.58. That isn't going to make a difference in your life. Heck, you probably make that in one night at the nude bar dancing. $471.58 isn't going to make you feel better. But I know what will.
Kiss. Kiss each other.
Today, justice is a baseball bat. Is your car in the parking lot here today?
Yes.
Produced by
The way I
National
look at it,
Lampoon.
if
Wow.
you- that's
I
justice.
appreciate it, Bob. Loser gets hit with a baseball bat.
Coming up next, the defendant. You're watching Eye for an Eye.